We created an individual report and we're gonna record our videos and put them all together. And this is my response for the individual report. For question number 1, what obstacles did you have to overcome as a group? Cliques, counter-coalitions, social loafing. What, if any, made it difficult to work together productively? The obstacles that we had to overcome as a group would be managing a way to keep in contact and keep the group united. It was very difficult for us to keep constant communication because the course we are taking is online and therefore we cannot communicate in person, nor have we seen each other in person. In addition, we tried many times to communicate online through Canvas, but since everybody in our group has a job and works, hence it was very difficult for us to keep constant communication because everybody in our group has different work schedules. For example, while I was working, another group member was at home but needed to work when I was available. If anything, our different work schedules and our mediated channel of communication made it very difficult for the group to work productively. Question number 2. Who performed which roles in your group? How did you deal with people who were performing anti-group roles? Almost everybody in the group were involved in task roles, concerned with the accomplishment of the group's goals. Maria played the role of information seeker. She would ask for additional input and clarification of ideas or opinions that members had presented. One example would be, in her words, okay, the problem is the curriculum we want of more diversity, and the solution would be a fundraiser so we can come up with the money to provide this diversity. Am I correct or mistaken? That was one question Maria had in her words through Canvas. Benjamin Garcia played the role of elaborator by adding on what others had said. Robert Moran played the role of initiator. He would provide solutions and present new ideas to the group via online Canvas. I myself played the role of information giver and initiator by providing facts and other input during the discussions. I would also provide the group with ideas and strategies. Next question, who were the leaders in your group? What leadership styles were used? What were the sources of power? In our group, there were no leaders. Everybody collaborated equally and each member was viewed as another member of the same group. Following to the next question, was the groupthink a factor in your group? Were there times when you personally avoided expressing disagreement with your group because it was uncomfortable? If so, what was the topic and what did you avoid saying? Groupthink was not a factor in our group. There were not times when I personally avoided expressing my concerns because we all agreed that we were in this together, to acquire a grade for the assignment and to pass the class. We all have the same goals and worked together as much as possible to achieve those goals. Next question. Write down the names of the members of your group, give a brief description of the work that they did, and evaluate their contribution to the group on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being no participation or harmful participation, and 10 being the most helpful. If you missed too many days to evaluate them, well, you can skip assigning them a number. Be sure to include yourself. What score would you give yourself? We had a total of 5 members in our group, and I believe Marta de la Fuente just joined our group. It's 8:31 Today's date is 8/12/2014. She joined our group like at 6:30. So it would include 6 groups, but as of now, I just included the 5 members that were there from the start. One of them is Oscar Seca. He was one of the last members to join the group. He joined the group a day before the due date. His contribution to the group on a scale of 1 to 10 is 0, no contribution. Benjamin Garcia did contribute to the group by engaging in role of elaborator and by adding on what others had said. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give Benjamin Garcia a 9. And Robert Moran, he provided the group with some ideas and strategies on how to increase funds for our college campus. I would rate Robert Moran's collaboration to the group with a 10. And last but not least, Maria Trevino. I would rate Maria Trevino with a 10 because she was the first member in our group to contact us and in order to find out what we were going to be doing and who was going to be assigned what task and so forth. And that is it for my individual report. Thank you and have a nice evening.
Hi, good evening. My name is Maria Fernanda and I'll be doing step 2 on analyzing the problem. Question 1, what is the history of the problem? The history of this problem, which is a curriculum of classes provided for Laredo Community College, dates back to when the college opened. Laredo Independent School District created Laredo Junior College back in the year 1947. It was built on the site of Fort McIntosh in downtown Laredo. Today, the college is a 2-campus college and it serves about 12,000 students per year. The college was approved for a $100 million facility improvement plan, but the money will not go towards more classes. The college has been able to expand since the day it opened, and they have provided more associate degrees, programs, and certifications. Still, students want more class options to choose from rather than picking for the same old basic classes. Students want to have a more diverse curriculum to choose from when they are picking which classes they are going to take for their major. The college doesn't have enough money to hire the certified professors to teach more diverse classes. Question 2. What are the causes of the problem? The funds of the school obtains goes to different areas other than classes, such as athletics, equipment, which is also important, more buildings, etc. LCC is very behind on equipment and technology upgrades, which is where a lot of the funds they obtain go. Nevertheless, we should also obtain more classes to choose from. Yes, LCC is an affordable college to attend to get your basics done, but a big reason why students do not obtain their associate's degree here is because they transfer to a bigger university because of the lack of classes. About 15% of the students graduate from LCC with an associate's degree. The state reduces fundings because enrollment has recently decreased significantly. The causes of the problem are linked together so that it makes a spiral effect. Since the college doesn't have the option of classes the students are looking for, enrollment decreases. Since enrollment decreases, so do the funds provided by the state, which then circles around and the college is then forced to make cuts to staff and classes. Question 3. What are the symptoms of the problem? The symptoms of the problem start with a decrease in student enrollment. Like I said earlier, the decrease of enrollment will result in a decrease of state funding. Funding is probably the only way to solve this problem, because if you do not have fundings for more symptoms are brought to light, such as teachers having to pay cuts or being let go because of lack of funding. Other symptoms include the lack of technology and equipment. For example, I took an anatomy and physiology class last year and the equipment was old. I mean old. The bones that were being used were already breaking in place. That can mess up a student on learning how the particular bone looks. The complete skeleton model were also missing pieces because of how old and beaten up they were. Since funding from the state was cut, tuition has also increased. What methods, approaches, laws, policies currently exist for dealing with the problem? There are several methods that exist for lacking funds which result in the low diversity of class options. Currently, regardless of the school, as long as it is a public school, the federal is giving 10% of funding for each college. The rest is up to the state and local government. Budgets are made and await approval by either the state or the local government. The college explains why they need the budget to be approved. The government then puts it to a vote on whether or not to pass the budget. Another method is fundraising. The college can get organizations together and come up with fundraisers to help with getting the funds necessary for school. Fundraising is a really good way to come up with the funds, and while not having to go through the government and wait for a possible budget approval, car wash, raffles, jamaikas, or festivals are all examples of fundraising ideas that can help come up with some funds, as well as bringing awareness to public on what kind of financial help the college might need. And question 5. What are the limitations of these methods? Some limitations to these methods include the amount of fundings the government will approve for the school. There are hundreds of universities as well as junior colleges. The government can give every school the fundings that they need, which usually leave the colleges itself to try and fight to come up with the rest of the necessary fundings. Higher education is an important issue for the government, but is not the only issue that the government needs to attend. The government has to take into consideration the fundings they need for the other things, such as fundings for the road, buildings, our military, our law enforcement, healthcare, etc. All these issues bring limitations to the methods possible to fix the fundings for school in order for college to get the additional classes the students are asking for. Limitations that may come with the fundraising is a local population. Normally, you rely on the public to buy tickets, come to the festival, or even volunteer to help with the event. The downside to that is that there's possibly might be other fundraisers going on while local elementary, middle school, or high school. Parents will first attend to the fundraisers going on with their kids, and then if they haven't already helped with a fundraiser, they will possibly help. That is my speech on step 2, analyzing the problem.
Hello class, I'm doing step 1 and 3 for the Dewey process. Question number 1, what is the specific problem that the group is concerned about? What terms, concepts, or ideas need to be defined? Well, the problem that the group is concerned about is how are we going to be able to raise funds in order to create diversity and adapt technology. What the group needs to focus on is how we are going to come up with an effective strategy that will help the campus raise sufficient funds in order to have the budget to develop more options in the curriculum. One idea is to create a curriculum which will be based on majors that the campus already offers. Another problem is how the group will agree, and how are we going to communicate because everybody in the group has different available times. For step number 3, what are the guidelines for a workable solution? Sample criteria may include cost, availability to be implemented, enforced, band uniforms, comfortable, eye-catching, weather-resistant. Well, one of the guidelines for a workable solution is to first develop a successful strategy that will raise sufficient funds in order to create diversity in the curricula. With more funds, we can create more options for students in choosing classes. From there, we can move on to adapt technology by attracting investors to our area to invest in new technology. Another step or guideline would be to open up a bank account in our local bank and create a savings account on which investors could deposit money and donations. We could also mm, create donation forms and forward donation forms to investors across the country.
Good my class. I'm gonna present my individual report project. Um, what obstacles did you have to overcome as a group to conquer your combination? Social laughing, what if anything made it difficult to work together cohesively? One main obstacle that I have is my short time. I have very little time and it is difficult to have as much free time as someone else. I think conflicts was that Robert and Benjamin, those are who I have communication. I do not have any. I don't think we have any conversations. And about social mapping, I think the whole group was interested about the project. The thing that makes it difficult was that it was online and not everybody was connected at the same time. Uh, so it was difficult to communicate with the group and also for the time. Not everyone has the time to get together. Who perform which roles in your group? Um, the task roles were for Oscar and Robert. They were to give the information about how we went to the project. Benjamin and I were the information speakers. We were asking everyone how we are going to do the project. Who were the leaders in your group? I would say that the leader was Oscar by being an elected leader, control the group by voluntarily to do the video. Who was a group thing a factor in your group? Were there times when you personally avoided expressing disagreement with your group? I would say that it was a group thing. We were all on the same page. Maybe me at first I was kind of confused, but after following all the instructions in the group, I was there to do my part. Um, Write down the names of the members of your group and give a brief description and evaluate them. Oscar Garcia, he was the one to volunteer to do the video. I will give him a 10. Robert Mora, who gave me my part of the project, I will give him a 10 also. Benjamin, he was able to help me by answering my questions. Uh, I will give him also 10. Oscar Seca and Maria Trevino, I wasn't able to communicate with them. I will give them 5. Maybe they don't communicate with me, but maybe they communicate with the rest of the group. I will give me 7. I was asking everyone my part, even though I don't have too much time on, or even though it was in good after that time. Okay.
Hey guys, what's up? It's, I had step 4 in the Dewey process. It's called Purpose Solutions. Here we go. Our group has talked about multiple solutions. We have considered about possibilities of introducing a programmed curriculum based on the student's major. For example, if your major is engineering, your classes would all be based on the engineering concepts and design process. And of course, somewhere in your curriculum you would have a history about engineering or how engineering has evolved over the years and different things like that. Another topic we talked about was marketing for sports facilities, but we feared some rule and or regulations would be broken by us according to the NCAA. Finally, we came up with a strategy to host an annual fair that targets middle school and high school kids, and our main focus would be majors and or careers. It's kind of sort of like a job fair, but not so much in that sense. We're not representing a specific company or anything like that. It would just be something to help you steer you in the right direction of what you want to do. We will have tables or stations set up for different majors and careers, and there will be activities for the whole family, including with small giveaways. Along with all of that, there will be a raffle and silent auction. The raffle will consist of 3 prizes. The prize will be differing from, something like a gas card or to a prize basket, something like that. The silent auction will vary anything from a vacation getaway to tickets to a sporting event. Of course, we will charge individually, but we would have some type of group rate also. So say, it's $5 for a person to get in, but if you bring a group of 5 or more, tickets are reduced to $4. Or if you have a group of 5, $20 for the whole group. You save $5 or whatever. At every table or station, there will be a donation jar. So if they feel like we have helped them in a very positive way, that can maybe motivate the kids or whoever it is, them to leave some sort of a donation. And our whole goal is hopefully that the majority of the people who do attend the event will be very satisfied with the fair, and that they'll come back for the following years that we do have this.